What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And you're watching this video on Sunday, March 1st, 2026 at 10:50 a.m. MST. As I'm merging forward into season 7, I'm going back and watching previous videos, just previous to these, to remind me to go back over and to meditate on the testimony of what everything God has done to gain understanding. That David says that God has given him more wisdom and understanding than his teachers because he has meditated upon, that he's instructed himself in the testimonies of the Lord. And I've been doing that to try to have wisdom in moving forward, especially as I'm merging into this year, the season 7. There's just this increased weight and sobriety of seriousness to press into everything that the Lord has for me. Now, out of that, that's why I'm like, do I say all of this or do I just read all of it? Man, I think I'm just gonna read it. My videos as of late have been incredibly long. There's been so much there. I think I'm gonna read it, and hopefully that will be the most effective and efficient. You never know how God is going to use you in the lives of others. I asked Josiah for a prophetic word from God, and he gave me one. 3 episodes before the start of season 3 in my video that I recorded with Josiah, God had warned me that I didn't have enough grace for everyone that I was reaching out for. I was to shine and to tend my lamp with him. Writing in this context is safeguarding my intimacy with him and builds oil in my life. So when Josiah said, write, 3 weeks later, I thought, I know what that means. The very next video, though, I called out Josiah as my extra in encouraging me in my process of beginning Venue Real Estate. I wrote all the letters to my partners on February 14th, 2022. Write, and write. What I didn't know is that he had prophetically named my son Jamin. In the 3rd video of season 3, Raise the Dead, I say at the very end of the video that my son is about to be born and that I didn't have a name picked out yet. All my other children, God had spoken a prophetic word over their lives such that I knew their identity and then found a name that captured this identity. With our 4th, actually 5th child, God hadn't given me a word yet. Charlotte had read all the way through 2 or 3 name books, but I hadn't because I didn't know what I was looking for yet. As I was waking up on Friday, February 11th, 2022, I told God, so what's the word over my child's life? We've got about 2 weeks before our child is born, and I'm still waiting. He responded with, you've been asking the wrong question. Well, okay then, what would you like me to ask you then? Ask me what I would like to tell you. Okay, Father, what would you like to tell me? I want you to name your son yourself. You're free to name him whatever you want. Oh ho! The very next thing that I said to the father was then, wonderful. Then I want to use my freedom to name my child to say, Father, I want you to be with me in naming my child. We were still doing the naming together, but I was the authority and the father was my advisor. I rolled over and told Charlotte, I'm free to name our son. I have vision to move forward. Later that day, my cousin Josiah called me and said, I'm coming to stay at your house. We had a great time that evening, Friday the 11th. 2022. Such great conversation. And then we got up Saturday morning and recorded the beginning of season 3. My son was born then on March 1st, 2022. And my wife and I didn't land on his name until 45 minutes before we left the hospital. While Charlotte was laboring, I read through 100,001 plus baby names and wrote down the ones that resonated with me. Instead of reading the definition to find correlation to what God had told me and then looking at the name, I looked at the names, and when my heart's desires gauge twitched, I would look at the meaning. If both the name and the meaning jived, I would then write it down. Completely independently, Charla had made a list, and I had made a list without comparing them. And after 100,001 plus baby names, there was one name that we had both written down that was the same. Jamin, right hand of favor. The name felt right, and we loved the meaning. We prayed over him, declared this as his name, wrote it on his birth certificate, and didn't even know that it was a biblical name. It didn't matter. It was my heart's desire, and it was flowing out of my freedom and my favor with God. It wasn't until this last week, August 21st through the 27th, 2022, when I sat down to write about the story of naming Jamin, that I discovered that his name is founded on the Hebrew word H3221, to choose the right, to go to the right, use the right hand, to be right-handed. Honestly, I have no idea what this means. Not a clue. What I do know is that God is good, and you never know what you may be speaking into someone's life. I asked my cousin for what Jesus would say to me, and Josiah turned to the Father and then said to me, Jamin. I received as a gift the Father's input, hidden, embedded in a prophetic word of encouragement to me. Right, and right. God just previously, on Friday the 11th, he had woken me up in that place of prayer between sleeping and waking, and he gave me the right hand of favor. My Father said, I place my hand on you and say, Elijah, you are free to name your child whatever you want. You are under the right hand of my favor. Wild. That's awesome, but I only want to do this with and in my Father. Also, my great longing is to live and to be within intimate community where we're in a we disciple us reality that is being manifest as a living, testified example. It's the shared joy in the journey. God reminds me of riding with him. He warns me and then frees me with favor to have authorability in choosing the name of my own son. And then Josiah comes that day of his own choosing out of favor and freedom that I had given him to always have an open invitation to be in my house. And it was the very first time that he had ever exercised this favor. He just packed a bag and came to Bozeman and then contacted me to say that he was coming to my house on the day before that I launched season 3, and then prophetically established my son's name with grace from my Father, whom I asked to speak into my process. Friends, that is beyond the wildest complexity of calculation to figure out that God would do such a thing. And that as I'm recording this video for you, what is today? Oh my goodness. Oh man. As I record this video for you on Sunday, August 28th, 2022, that I just discovered all of this. And I wrote it all down and said, oh my goodness, this is my extra. What is going on? That I was putting Bowden, my son, to sleep this afternoon for his nap. And I'm such a season that I told Charlotte I can't put our son to sleep for his nap and sit with him and hold him without going to sleep myself. As I went to sleep, that I was processing in that place of sleep in my dreams, that I was going through this video with you, with the Lord in prayer, in a dream, and that as I did that, I launched the beginning. What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. You're watching this video on Sunday. Oh, Father, I need to figure that out before I launch into that. And my brain started to try to figure it out. And I was like, okay, the last one was on February 22nd. That was huge. Oh, thank you, Father. That was amazing. 22 plus 7. No, that's 29. It's not a leap year. Oh my goodness. Wait, what? And as I began to contemplate that with the Lord in my dream, that I started clawing to the surface of consciousness, that I had to get to my phone, popped up my phone, and I'm launching this video to you on Sunday, March 1st, 2026, which is 4 years to the day of my son Jamin's birth. I'm telling you, I'm stuck. I feel like I'm absolutely stuck in a twilight zone of testimony, of awesomeness of my Father, that the vision is to serve, to please my Father's heart, through the exercise of my gifts to impart grace to you so that you might know him more, that I'm arising to shine and let my good works be done in such a way that you can see my good works and glorify my Father in heaven. Friends, my encouragement to you out of all of this is that you never know how your encouragement, you never know how the gifts that are pouring through your life that you exercise out of loving obedience before the Father to please his heart, you never know what you're releasing to other people. That in 2022, I can say, looking forward here to 2026, that I look forward to sitting down with my cousin Josiah and saying, did you have any idea of what you were speaking to? My faith posit here, reasoning by faith, is that no, he had no idea, no idea what he was speaking to. And in that moment when he said, right, and right, he had no idea that he was saying to me from the Father, Jamin. Friends, it's so simple that out of the complexity of Extraordinary Life with Elijah, the perseverance, the thousands of hours, the days, the years of perseverance in faith of what God has given me to do, let me declare out of the largesse of all of that, it is so incredibly simple to step out in faith with the Father to accomplish the impossible in him. The way forward into a powerful faith that transforms lives, that transforms culture, that brings the fullness of heaven to earth is entered into through the next simple step of faith. In faith's fullness, the consistent actions of faith over time to give expression to the fullness of faith in the good works that God has given you to do. So here on Sunday, March 1st, 2026, I extend the right hand of favor towards you in a testimony of my Father's goodness demonstrated in my life to declare, serve to please our Father's heart through the exercise of your gifts to impart grace to others that they might know him more. You never know what it is to the fullest extent that you may be doing. If you subscribe to what I am doing, then hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you loved this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video. Which starts now. Until this afternoon, while I was snoozing with Bowden, talking to God in my dreams, I didn't even know that I was recording and releasing this video for March 1st, my son's 4th birthday. Happy birthday, Jamin. I'm so glad that you're in my life. God's timing. And my episode last week was the first episode that I released on Thursdays. Made the shift to posting my videos on Thursdays. So hopefully people get used to seeing them on Thursdays and more people can see the video that I post back on August 17th, 2023. Craziness, summation, my Father is really, really good. What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And this week, Brian, Aaron, and Ruby are my extra, and I am the ordinary.